I picked up on the guy by the name of Sam.
Supposedly one of the most haunted locations in the world, the once bustling city of Goldfield, Nevada, is now little more than a ghost town. When gold was discovered in the early 1900s, Goldfield quickly became one of the largest cities in Nevada. In 1908, gold made millionaire George Winfield, owner of the Goldfield Consolidated Mines Company, built the Goldfield Hotel on top of an abandoned gold mine. Designed by architect George E. Holsworth, the 154-room hotel stood in the heart of the city as a symbol of its success. The 35,000 residents of Goldfield frequented the surrounding saloons, shops, banks, and of course, the local mining stock exchange. However, like many other gold rush cities, it dried up when the mines did. The hotel now sits, sadly, amidst the ashes of defeat, haunted by its illustrious past. For example, the George Winfield Room on the first floor is reportedly haunted by his ghost. The smell of cigar smoke and piles of fresh ashes has been found there. His presence has been felt near the lobby staircase, along with that of a midget and 2 small children. And psychics have claimed that room 109 is haunted by the presence of a pregnant woman chained to a radiator. Rumors say that George Winfield had an affair with a prostitute named Elizabeth. When she became pregnant, she begged George to leave his wife and marry her. Unwilling to do so, George chained Elizabeth to the radiator until she gave birth. She was left in the room to die. And the baby? The baby was thrown down the old mine shaft at the northeast end of the basement. But does the Goldfield Hotel really hold up to its reputation as being one of the most haunted locations in the world? The Mystery Gang investigates.
Nowadays they've been calling, telling me soon gonna be my turn. Head down, walk with reason, know that when the daylight dies, gonna have to face my demons. Life of sin, a life of lies. The devil's gonna come when the sun goes down. The devil's gonna come when the sun goes down. By the river,
Right behind her. It just went right behind her.
You.
Oh my God.
It went right into the wall behind you.
Oh my God. I have it on recording too.
The devil's gonna come when the sun goes down. The devil's gonna come when the sun goes down. Now I'm buried in a shallow grave by the riverside.
Alright, so I will not go too far by myself, especially upstairs. So the flooring you see is original. Here is the vault. So right here is where the front desk used to be. They are now placing a fireplace right there. These are the stairs. This is the original carpeting for the stairs. Elevators, which are not working. I will not go down there by myself. No way. I have an eerie feeling down here. Oh, shit. It's getting a little bit cooler. Dead people. Okay, so here's the brick room, right? What?
Oh my God, there's a freaking scorpion. Oh my God. We gotta let people know. Is that real?
Holy shit.
What did I do? How did
Look
I
at
tell
that
them?
scorpion, you guys.
Hey guys, there's a scorpion down here in the basement.
So this is the brick room where apparently the brick was thrown at Zach Bagans while he was here. And if I'm not mistaken, after the brick had got thrown, he exited the building through the second floor on a fire escape because everything was locked. Dude, where's everyone else at? Hey, where are you guys at? There's someone over here.
Please let me know what you just said.
Huh.
He said, thank you for making it warm down here after you lit the candle.
That's awesome.
That's what he said. That's crazy. That's kind of crazy. How are you doing today?
Did you say something? Could you please say it here?
You're recording, right?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Do you know your alphabet? A, B, C, D.
This is so creepy. A, B, C, D.
HIJK.
QRSTUV.
WX. Now I know my ABCs. It's very hot in here. All right, we are gonna go upstairs. I'm having a hard time breathing. Holy shit. This is really creepy. So down here where the phone is aiming towards this doorway, something black darted across from the left to the right. I'm not sure if any... Oh my gosh, I'm freezing.
Right behind her. It just went right behind her.
You.
Oh my God.
It went right into the wall behind you.
Oh my God. I have it on recording too.
Oh my gosh, I'm freezing.
Okay, come.
As I was just walking down the hallway, I felt the need to go to the right, but I had seen something come out of the left to the right and just got really cold like an icebox.
That was really all you were aware of though at that time, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Were you aware that your live feed had been turned off?
No. No, I had just seen something dart from the left to the right, and I was trying to follow it. And when Karen said that she had caught something coming out of the wall, all I felt was really cold, like I was in an icebox.
So when you did actually watch the video of the shadow coming out and quote unquote attacking you, how did that make you feel?
Scary. That was a very scary thing to see, even though I wasn't able to feel it or pick up on it at the time that it was happening. Why?
That sounded like the noise that we heard down there. Well, no, that sound also sounded like the noise I heard when I asked how the search was did.
Okay, so Josh and Caitlin, they were down this hallway, and Caitlin was flipped in the head like really hard, and then they had something come down and like just attack them and chase them downstairs.
Oh no, are they okay?
Yeah, and there was a little cluster, you know.
There it goes. It turned off my camera, my light. Alright, so the rook is lighting up a little bit if you guys can see it. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and grab this. Susie just seen something down the hall.
It was like I saw a shadow come out of the room and go into another room. I'm thinking it had to be right here because these rooms are close together. That was Lisa. Camera went off again. But it's still going live, it's just the camera that's going off?
They're turning off my light and it says try to reconnect.
That was
This was in here
Lisa.
draining my battery. It's already at 60%.
Oh my dear Lord.
Yeah. It was at 100%.
Are you draining our equipment? What's your name? What the fuck, did you hear that?
Yeah.
That came from in there.
Who's here with us?
That was kind of loud. It came from somewhere on the other side of the wall. Maybe it came from in there.
It might have. I don't know, but I've got some serious goosebumps going on. Down here.
It's totally messing with us. We saw you the last time we were here. We saw you. What?
He's down the hall on the left-hand side.
Calm down. Remember what Kat told me. What did you see?
I seen him. It was a shadow in the doorway peeking out from the left side of the door.
We need to call on our spirit guides right now.
So Jen, can you talk a little bit about your paranormal abilities?
Sure. Well, where to start? Just to give some background, I'm considered what would be called a psychic medium, clairvoyant, and empath. However, I like to join the science aspect of paranormal investigating with my abilities. Ever since I was very young, I would say 3 or 4, I've been able to see and communicate with spirits, and it runs in my family line on both sides really, but especially my mom's. And I always thought I had imaginary friends. That's what everybody would tell me, but I'm pretty sure some of the interesting characters that would come around, that wasn't the case. I tend to draw spirit energy to me all the time. I'm also able to see the energy field around people, the living, and I think that translates to seeing the dead as well. It's kind of like heat rising from a road, so I can't see auras, but I can see weird stuff around people. As far as spirits go, when I see them, sometimes I can actually see them standing there. Other times they show me images, somewhat like a slideshow, like a PowerPoint slideshow going through my head, and I'll see all this weird information. Sometimes it's about something in their life or their death. And as far as hearing them, I'm not quite as strong in that ability, so I can hear names sometimes or dates or little snippets of information, but I'm definitely more of a visual person. And that's helped me a lot, kind of locating in a location, like if it has activity, what emotions are going on there, and kind of where to set up all my equipment. If I'm feeling a lot of energy or seeing certain things in certain areas, I'll set up there. And it also helps me figure out what's going on, what I'm dealing with, what kind of spirit energy, negative, positive, somebody that's trapped or wants to leave, that kind of thing. It was a mixed bag. I would say it's an open location in a way. There's a lot of airflow that goes through there. The walls are very thin, so you can hear a lot of echoing, not only from outside, but other people talking. Feeling-wise, it was kind of like an onion. It had so many different layers of energy and interaction. We only got to go in the basement, the main lobby, and the second floor. The second floor had a very kind of more sinister, darker energy, more of like, I would feel a lot of body pain, almost like kind of a stabbing in my side.
Josh and Caitlin, they were down this hallway, and Caitlin was flicked in the head like really hard.
A lot of shadow play, and it's really tricky up there because the shadows that you see run across, there's very strange light reflections going on. There's a couple windows that will bounce outside headlights and things like that throughout. But feeling-wise, just kind of dark. It's the feeling of being watched all the time. There's so many rooms up there, and it's so easy to get lost and turned around. That's kind of the feeling that I had, was that there was a lot of disillusionment, like you're walking through this thick sort of like electrical fog, and it was hard to get your bearings, like which way to set up cameras or which way to film, because it always felt like somebody was playing a game with you and you didn't know which way to head, because every time you'd go one direction, then activity would happen in the other direction. I had some interesting experiences in the basement as far as energetically. It was more very strong male energy, but very sexual towards me. I didn't feel like it was intent to harm at all, but just very sexual. We had some males in our group that did feel more threatened than I did as far as that.
Do you think that, speaking about the basement, do you think that Zach Bagans really had that brick thrown at him?
You want me to go in? Is that you? Making all that noise?
This is the room
What room?
that they're talking about.
Is that you making all the noise? Holy oh my god! Holy stop! Stop! Go!
I've gone over that footage a lot of times. I'm just gonna put this out there. There's a lot of fakeness that goes on in that show, but at that time, I do think that they could have had that type of experience because there was a lot of accumulated energy, and the spirit down there was very vocal. We have some audio of that. And I wouldn't put it past him to be able to manifest that amount of energy. It would take a lot to throw a brick and a beam and all of that. But that particular room felt very guarded to me. Like that was the center point of the whole hotel, like almost like a portal type energy. So it's very possible that could have happened. But I wasn't there, so I can't say 100% sure. But their fear was real. So you can tell when people are acting or not. Well, this might come as a shock to a lot of people, but actually, on the lobby floor, there's a hallway to the right when you walk in, and I went down there, and there was a young girl, I would say like 14, that was being held there by another male spirit, and she was communicating with me a lot. We caught a bunch of video of her responding on the K2 meters to questions and just responding to me directly, and she's trapped there. So every time I would try to help her get out of there, she couldn't leave the hallway. This male entity would step in and block her, and I got the strong impression there was a lot of sexual abuse. She definitely had more of like a Native American look to her, really young girl. It just broke my heart. I was almost in tears just because I wanted to help her get away from him, and it seems like he just clung on to her and was not able to. I still think about that all the time. It's encouraged me to really want to go back there and help solve whatever that was. I've tried to dig up as much history as I could regarding a person like that with no success, unfortunately.
Why are you guys still here? Do you just really like it here? Are you trapped? Why are you guys still here? Do you just really like it here? Are you trapped?
Dirty job.
Well, I was saying in the 20s, in the 20s they did a lot of like occult was
Dirty job.
Well, I was saying in the 20s, in the 20s they did a lot of like occult was
So, you know that we did capture a Class A EVP during our investigation there of a baby crying on the first floor next to room 109, which is supposedly where Elizabeth was, you know, trapped in there and tortured and made to give birth, and then her baby was supposedly thrown down the mine shaft. Knowing that we have that EVP, how do you feel about the story of Elizabeth?
How I feel about the story is kind of the same. There's no like hard evidence, no record of her ever existing, and so for me, like, I would really like to see that there. But the EVP itself and the baby crying, like, that is really intense, and I feel the emotion behind it, like, and I think that's fully real.
So, can you tell me a little bit about your most memorable experience at the Goldfield Hotel?
I'd have to say it was definitely being flicked in the forehead by the man spirit on the second floor, which I've dubbed the flicker.
The flicker. As you know, we did capture a Class A EVP of a man saying F you. Would you relate that to the man who flicked you in the forehead?
I'd have to say that it's very plausible that they are one and the same. You could feel kind of a trickster sense of being about him, as well as like an arrogancy, and someone who is very comfortable with sneaking up on someone and like physically assaulting them.
I was going down the hall and I felt that there was someone standing in the doorway and actually taking a picture, and all I was able to do was outline what I seen, and when we later enhanced it, it looked like a cowboy slash gunslinger.
Bring a lot of equipment, a lot of, the basics, batteries, lights. The biggest thing is to go in small groups. I would think no more than 6 or 7. Like I said, it's super echoey in there, so you can hear people in the basement on the second floor. That really can contaminate audio. There's a lot of dust, so there's a lot of orb play, things like that. There's a lot of light reflection. I'm pretty sure some of the paint, the old paint that's in there, had quartz or something in it, because I noticed on my night vision full spectrum that the walls were actually sparkling, so they're reflecting and refracting the light. It's something to keep in mind because it does increase the shadow play, and the way that the hallways are is going to bend and make it look like there's a lot of things moving around when maybe there isn't. And just really get your bearings there, because you can get lost. It's such a big place. There's a lot of new construction going on there, so be careful. Wear sneakers or non-heeled boots. There's some people have had experiences with scorpions and things like that in the hotel, so you got to be safe. But mostly just keep your guard up. There are a lot of spirits in there. There's a lot of weird energy. Myself and others have experienced feeling like they're being stabbed. A lot of people have died in this place, so just be respectful. Don't lash out at whatever's there. Try to be helpful.
Definitely when you guys go, when we went, there was only 2 floors. Apparently all 4 floors are open now. You guys definitely want to spread out and reduce any noise, interference that may go on, because you can hear everything on every floor. Also, lots of dust around that hotel, flying around. It's not a bunch of orbs, I'll tell you that right now.
Always be respectful for the property and for the spirits that are there, to kind of maybe cleanse yourself, to go in and really prepare yourself, because it was very, very draining for me. There's a lot going on in there, so I would just say, prepare yourself for that.
Keep an open mind going into a location, and it's okay to run towards the noise, even though in horror movies you don't want to ever run toward, you say, don't do it, don't go towards the noise, the killer's there. But you have that innate response to follow it, whether it's a shadow down a hallway or, a knocking in the next room. That's the investigator in you, and you have to see what's making that noise and who it could be or what it could be, and go with it. Don't be too scared to embark on that journey.
Whether you're a historian, a ghost hunter, or a tourist, you can't help but fall in love with the Goldfield Hotel and all the mysteries it beholds within its creepy splendor. But before you enter those doors, regardless of whether or not you believe the stories of Elizabeth, the baby, George Winfield, or whatever else you have heard, just remember what you witnessed from what the Mystery Gang and Wisp have shown you. Enter at your own risk.